it's Gothy and I'm doing some cross stitch updates. So I still am struggling to get my stitchy bug off the fence. Basically, it's just a case of, hey, I have all these really awesome projects that I really want to stitch on, so you should do some stitching. But I don't want to. I don't want to stitch. So it's been kind of tough. However, I do have 2 finishes and 2 new starts. So, new start number 1 and finish number 1 is over here in a pile. So I started my little Dragonfly Duo kit from Dimensions for the spring stitch along with Cross Stitch is Fun. So this is a really interesting pattern too, because this uses some parts are stitched 2/1, and this is 14 count Aida, I believe. Yes, 14 count Aida. It's a kit, so it comes with everything. Some of the parts are stitched 2/1, some are stitched 1/1, and then there's also backstitch, and there's this little cluster of French knots that I am more than likely going to replace with beads because I hate French knots. Really hate French knots. But I've made a start. I haven't done much yet. I've done this tiny little bit here. That part is 1/1. So that's the leaf in the middle here. So that's that. And I was pretty happy because all the floss comes pre-sorted. Unfortunately, it comes pre-sorted to this length. Yeah. So that's a little excessive, but at least it's pre-sorted, and I don't have to worry about sorting it, because I hate sorting it. And that can go back over and live on the printer until I decide to do some more on it. This is my finish, which I haven't got around to washing, ironing, and putting in the frame yet. But this is the little Odd Job Bear from the Cross Stitch Magic magazine. This is a kit that I had left over in my stash. My pop used to buy these magazines for me. They were an Aussie magazine, and they all came with kits and patterns and all sorts of stuff. I used to buy it when I could, but sometimes I couldn't. So my pop would buy it for me, and this was one of the kits that I'd saved, along with the pattern, and I'd been really hesitant to do it because I sort of attached a sentimental value, because unfortunately I had to get rid of all the magazines, but I kept some of the kits. And now I really regret that, not just because they had some really awesome patterns in them, but because it was something that my pop gave me. So yeah, but he's done, and there's his little frame that comes with the kit. The plastic on it's a little bit warped, so I might have to try and straighten that up a bit. And also the frame sort of, it's old, so the adhesive that was holding the frame together is not the greatest. So I will probably glue that before I put anything in it. But that is a job for another day, because I don't want to do it today. And my other finish, of course things are in the way everywhere at the moment. My other finish, I finished my St. Patrick's Day stitch along, which you might have already seen as I put a blog post about it. So this is the St. Patrick's Day stitch along. The original pattern says there's a little Irish in all of us on St. Patrick's Day. I changed it to Sinclair, which is my grandfather's surname, because he was born on St. Patrick's Day. So everyone used to call him Pat. So yes, this is for him. The bead, or the charm here, can't see it when I'm playing with it down there. So there's a charm on it, which the first time I've ever had to attach a charm, and I did not enjoy attaching the charm, especially because I have beading thread, so I thought, oh yeah, I can just use that. Turns out the beading thread is white and not clear like I thought it was, and it was going to show up. So I ended up just taking some more of the green thread and using that to attach it. So if anyone is going to do this pattern, oh well, here's here. Okay, so this is 18 count Ada. This is Silver Springs from Color Cascades. So it's like a mottled grey sort of thing. The pattern itself says that it should be stitched on 16 count 2/1. So I went 18 count thinking, oh yeah, you know, I have this fabric in 18 count, so I don't have to buy any more fabric, and I thought it wouldn't use up as much floss. But as we know, I ended up needing 2 skeins. And then I had another look at the 123 Stitch website. Now their model stitch is done on 32 count 1/1, even though the pattern itself says 16 count 2/1. So that's why the website only says that you only need 1 skein. As it is, this is all I have left from the second skein. That's 4 strands. So yeah, I almost used 2 full skeins to do this pattern. So if you were going to do this pattern, unless you're going to do it 32 count 1/1, get at least 2 skeins of floss at the same time, because not only was it a pain in the ass for me to try and find another skein in Australia, so I didn't have to pay ridiculous shipping prices, but they were different. So, I mean, they turned out, they matched up pretty well, and it's not too much of a big deal, but it could have been. So, yes. And this is my new start. It doesn't look like anything spectacular at the moment. So this is Color Cascades. This is 14 count opal, so it's sparkly. See the sparkles? Sparkle, sparkle. And this is Clouds. And this is going to be a gift for my sister. Now, I'm going to insert a picture of what it's going to look like, because the pattern printout doesn't have an example picture on it, so yeah. But this is going to be a gift. My sister's birthday was actually a couple of days ago, so I'm going to stitch this up as quickly as I can, which means this is a priority piece until it's done, basically. Also, I'll take this off, because I can just put it back on. I made a Q-snap cover. I stopped being lazy and actually made one. I had this, it's very messy. I'm just going to put that out there. It is very messy. I had this camo fabric that was almost long enough. I had to MacGyver it and add a little bit extra to the end. So, yeah. But I made it. It's done. I haven't used a sewing machine since 2001. I think maybe 2002. And that was for like 4 40-minute classes. And my teacher didn't like me using the sewing machine because I used to cackle maniacally at the thought of people sewing over their fingers, so it made her very nervous, and she didn't want me using the sewing machine. But, you know, I didn't do too bad of a job. Like, you can sort of see that it's not in a straight line, but I did the hem. I had very thin elastic, so I probably could have gone thinner, but, yeah. I also didn't bother, like some people like fold it over and make the insides really neat and stuff. I have an iron. I don't know if we have an ironing board, and I've only just worked out how to use the iron enough to iron a small cross stitch. I'm not an ironing person, and this is no exception. I'm not going to sit there and like iron it over and then fold it and then iron it again and then sew it, and no. Screw it. Also, it's white thread, because I don't know how to change the thread on a sewing machine. So even though I have 2 boxes full of coloured threads, I have no idea how to change them on the sewing machine yet. So yeah, it's white. But Q-snap cover, I did the thing, and it works, and it's all stretchy. And there's a bit of red floss there that accidentally got sewed into it, apparently. Okay. But yeah, I also had a bit of trouble with the elastic on this end, because I stitch it together here where it meets, and stitched over the elastic to hold the elastic in place, but one of them sprung back before the needle went through it. So it ended up like I needed the elastic to be here to be sewed, and it was like here. So I had to pull out some of the stitches that I'd done there and pull it back through, and then I ghetto stitched it into place. So, but I mean, first go, first time, and it's not too bad. It does the job at least. You know, and that's the main thing. So it holds all my fabric in place. Not that I have too much excess fabric on this one, but yeah. So I think if I end up putting Arthas on the Q-snaps, I'll have to make a wider one because there's so much excess fabric with that one. The same with like the Tilton and the Heaven and Earth one and stuff. So yes, I did a thing, and I did a thing. And then I don't think I have any stash. Did I buy things? I bought books. Did I buy cross-stitch stuff? I don't think I bought cross-stitch stuff. I don't have any cross-stitch stash. It's actually kind of weird. But I do have a new shirt, and this is one of those shirts that I just had to get. I couldn't say no. This is from QWERTY, and it's a reprint. So, Blue Galaxy, and then right at the bottom, we have elephants holding up a world on a turtle's back. This is a Terry Pratchett shirt, like a Discworld shirt, and yes, I had to have it. Especially because, yeah, now that he's passed on, I'm not too happy. It really kind of hit me a bit hard too, because Terry Pratchett had the same thing that my grandfather had. So because I saw my grandfather going through it all, with that particular disease, I know exactly what him and his family were going through, and yeah, it kind of hit me a bit harder. So yeah, that was not a fun night. But I got the shirt, so now, yeah, I like the shirt. I think it's cool. And yes, what else? And I'm really bad for organizing stuff. You know, like I have up on my wall, I have lists of all the stitch alongs that I'm taking part in this year. I haven't updated it since any of the new ones have been added. I have this project list so that I'm trying to keep myself accountable for doing 100 stitches on all of my projects every month, keeping track of when I start new ones and when I finish them, that sort of thing. I also have this little cat diary that I've decorated with lots of stickers, because I like stickers, and stickers. And I still manage to not keep track of things. I still manage to forget about appointments and stuff like that. So I got a $10 voucher from kikki.K, which is they do like designer stationery. So I went in because I have a store in Penrith. We were in Penrith, and I picked up this is like a month sort of calendar. It can just sit on my desk. It can sit under my patterns, over my patterns, whatever. But I don't need to open it up and look at it. I just see it straight away. Everything's there. Hopefully this will help me keep on track with things, so I won't forget things. So then we can see, I've got like the stitch along dates, and when I have started and finished things, tape orientation, appointments, all sorts of things. And there are 60 pages in this. 60 pages. And there's enough for 6 weeks on each page. So this is April, and then I've started May down the bottom here too. Yeah, I got it for free. So, why not? I get another $10 coupon for my birthday, so I'm gonna go look at something else that I can get for free. I like free things. Free things are awesome. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, so hopefully now I can keep on track of my stitching. Like I said, I'm still sort of struggling with my stitchy bug. He's still being a douchebag and sitting on the fence instead of being like, hey, let's stitch. So that's really annoying. Still dealing with internet issues. My ISP still hasn't got around to fixing the problems that I'm having, which is incredibly frustrating, as you can imagine. Especially because, for the time being, I've had to quit my raid team because I can't raid. Because our raid time is 8 p.m. till whenever we go to, and I can't do anything internet related between the hours of 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. So I've had to quit my raid team. I'm incredibly pissed off about that because Blizzard have just announced the next raid, which is now up on the PTR realms, and unless the ISP pulls the fingers out of their arse and stops playing with their dicks, then I'm not going to be able to do it. And I'm pissed because it's absolutely ridiculous. 5 weeks I've been having internet issues between these hours. First couple of weeks weren't too bad, and then around the launch of Netflix, surprise, surprise, the congestion got worse, and the lag got worse, and I couldn't do anything. So I am about ready to just go to the TIO and let them deal with it because I've had enough. Like, I've been dealing with these assholes for 5 weeks now, trying to be able to, trying to get them to fix the damn thing so that I can actually use the service I pay for and play the games that I want to play, and I can't, and I am incredibly pissed off about it. So, hopefully that gets sorted soon because that's this just huge, huge weight on my shoulders right now. And that's probably why it's probably a big contribution to not being able to stitch because it's stressful having to sit on the phone because I have trouble talking to people on the phone. It's one of my weird things to do with my schizophrenia. So having to call them almost every day to try and find out what the hell is going on with my internet, and having to continually hold them responsible for what's happening. And then, thinking, oh, well, maybe it'll be better today. And then logging into WoW, for example, and it's just lag. And it's just, God damn it, I am going to put my fist through something right now because I'm over it. So it's not been fun. But hopefully I get some more stitching done soon. I'm also trying to come up with some ideas of things to put on my blog as well, my blogspot. Just so it's not empty all the time. I kind of feel like I should be putting at least one thing up per week, and I don't really think I don't know. Maybe I could start doing book things, like what I'm currently reading. That sounds like a good idea, actually. I don't know. I don't know how many of you guys pay attention to my blog as well, but would you guys be interested in, maybe every Monday or Friday or something, I just put up the books that I'm currently reading or something, and, books that I'm interested in reading or something? I don't know. Give me some suggestions. Suggestions are good. I like suggestions, so I don't have to think as much. Yes, so I'm going to go and try and play some WoW before 6 o'clock, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.